Hi, good morning. Welcome to Cup of Water. This is day 51 as we look at the book of Colossians. And today I want to take a little bit of a different angle. I want to look at something a little bit different because as I read through Colossians again, it wasn't until the very last verse that something just struck me. And I'm in Colossians 4, verse 18. It says, I, Paul, write this greeting to you in my own hand. Then he says three words. Remember my chains. Remember my chains. Living here in America, not a lot of overt physical persecution. People aren't dying for their faith in this country. People aren't being crucified, being killed for their faith. So when Paul writes this, it honestly, it convicts me. Is my heart break? Does my heart break for those brothers and sisters around the world that are putting their life on the line in order to follow Jesus? I know of stories in India, in the Middle East, in China, in Indonesia, that people are dying for their faith. Throughout Saharan Africa, people are dying for their faith. And what do we do about it? I remember the movie Hotel Rwanda. There's this scene where Paul, the hotel owner, is talking to two journalists that showed up. And these journalists did this footage of people dying in the streets during the genocide in the mid-90s. And Paul says, finally, people in America will do something. And these journalists said, Paul, they won't. What they're going to do is they're going to look up from their dinner plate when it's on the news, and they're going to say, oh, that's too bad. And then they're going to put their head down and go right back to the life they live. Is that how we're going to treat those that are being martyred for their faith? There are more martyrs in the last century than all the previous centuries combined. And are we just going to look up from our dinner plate and say, oh, that's too bad? I hope not. Today, pray for those that are being persecuted. Pray for their endurance. I want to leave you with this one comment. I was talking to a house church pastor in China, and we were just having this dialogue, asking questions and answers about the American church, the Chinese church. And I asked him this question. I said, how can I and the American church pray for you and our Chinese believers? And he said this, and I'll never forget this. He said, don't pray that the persecution will end. Pray that we would endure it. Because it's the persecution that's built a depth of conviction for our faith. Pray that they would endure. And so today, that's my challenge for you. Pick a country in the world that's persecuted. Go to Voice of the Martyrs website and research one. And let God break your heart for these people. So today, pray they would endure. Like Paul said, remember my chains. That's your cup of water today. Have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Go love Jesus.